Bonjour and welcome to Paris. I'm Sandra Mitchell. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to take you on a tour of the beautiful City of Light, known all over the world for the architecture and the fashion and the food. They're also hosting the 2024 Summer Olympics. So we came here as part of a special delegation to get an idea, what does Los Angeles need to know before we host the Summer Games in 2028? Paris has been on a building and renovating spree ahead of the 33rd Olympiad. For the organizers of these games, sustainability was key to their planning, and that led to some really creative ideas for venues. Organizers have worked with Parisian authorities to transform the city's landmarks into game-ready facilities. While in Paris, we got a special look inside this summer's games badminton court. It's an 8,000-seat arena normally home to French professional basketball, but it has been transformed into a space ready for net sports and rhythmic gymnastics. Also, instead of constructing an Olympic village from scratch, organizers decided to efficient way.
This has been very fantastic to meet the mayor and to see how a vision that was established several years ago will really be served by the Olympics coming.
Several historic locations will be playing important roles in the 2024 Summer Games. The site of Napoleon's tomb will have archery on the premises. The Pont Alexander III Bridge will host road cycling, marathon swimming, and the triathlon performed between its glittering and modern pentathlon on its manicured grounds. And to many, it serves as the symbol of the City of Light. The Eiffel Tower will be the backdrop to a new volleyball court.
As you can see, our iconic venues are coming to life. We have installed more than 60,000 temporary seats in the city center of Paris. So it's just even more stunning that we had imagined, and we have one message to the world.
Since France isn't known as a surfing hotspot, this year's competition will be held in the overseas island of Tahiti. Paris is almost ready with a new Olympic village and several sports venues. So why isn't LA building anything new? Back here, LA organizers have decided to use existing infrastructure for the games. LA as well has decided not to build a new Olympic village, but opt to use the UCLA campus, something that's been done in the past. And like back in 1984, locations used during the 1932 Olympics, such as the Rose Bowl in Pasadena and the LA Memorial Coliseum, will be used once again for our city's third time hosting. It might not be Polynesia, but LA too will be holding events away from the host city. Oklahoma City will serve as the location for softball and canoe slalom, two things the city has world-class venues for.
Oklahoma City has been great, and we didn't want to go to other cities and ask them to do things that, one, we don't think is appropriate for their city, and certainly not something we would ever ask the city of LA to do.
And when the Olympic Committee announced in 2017 that LA would host the 2028 Games, then Mayor Eric Garcetti released a proposed budget of $6.8 billion. Financially, the city is not in a position to build new venues and stadiums. The LA area, though, does have a wealth of entertainment and sporting locations. Organizers have options for places to host competitions. And in a recent media briefing, LA28 Chairman Casey Wasserman announced some of the sites outside of the immediate LA area.
Basketball will be played at the new home of the Clippers, the NBA's newest and most technically advanced arena, that we will call the Arena in Inglewood, California. We couldn't be more excited to utilize this new arena to host the best global basketball competition for both men and women during the Olympic Games. In our updated venue plan, the home field of the Rams and Chargers, that we call the Stadium in Inglewood, California, will be transformed into the largest swim stadium in the history of the Olympic Games.
So now we look forward to seeing if LA continues with the push for a more sustainability when hosting the Games. We'll just need to wait 4 years to find out. When we come back, safely moving millions of tourists around the city from venue to venue, we wanted to know what's in store for LA in 2028. We're back to Paris in just a moment. Welcome back to Paris, France. In this KTLA special, I'm Sandra Mitchell. The eyes of the world right now focused on Paris, but we're actually looking ahead. We know that LA is a city that is perpetually stuck in traffic. So what's going to happen when the games come in 2028? We hit the streets of Paris to find out. From the screech of the metro to the rev of a motorcycle, Paris is a city on the move. 2 million people in almost constant motion, biking, walking, driving. And now Paris is ready to welcome even more people.
It's going to be crazy.
An expected 15 million visitors for the 2024 Summer Olympics.
Absolutely crazy. I know some of the locals are going to be leaving out of the city so that they don't have to deal with the traffic.
Oh my God, it will be very difficult. And they are closing a lot of roads in Paris.
Paris does have an efficient metro train system, started in the year 1900. Every day, more than 700 trains shuttle 4 million passengers.
We've taken the metro a lot, so really it hasn't been terrible, except on the metro, it's different stops are, shoulder to shoulder.
There's also an elaborate bus system, and the city is just 40 square miles. So many Parisians simply walk to their destination. LA is different. 500 square miles of sprawl, where stuck in traffic is part of the daily drive. And the LA urban rail system was a little late to leave the station. The first trains were not on track until 1990. And on an average weekday, trains shuttle under 200,000 passengers through our city. So now LA is making improvements in anticipation of the Summer Games. After 5 years of construction, real progress on the Metro D-line. 70 feet underground, crews have completed the tunneling to take the trains from downtown LA to the west side. The expansion will add 7 new metro stations, including in Westwood, near the UCLA campus, the site of the 2028 Olympic Village. Of course, no honest look at the LA metro system could happen without mentioning the violent crimes which have plagued the system. Metro and the mayor say they're working to increase security, and we don't really know what it will look like in 4 years. Meantime, the other work continues.
The partnership between LA28, LA County, and our federal leaders shows us what can be done when we form a united front. Metro is committed to providing world-class mobility across LA County and for continuing our strong partnership with all of our stakeholders who want to join us in reshaping, transforming, and reimagining mobility in our region.
In April, LA city and state leaders announced nearly $900 million in federal funds to upgrade the transportation infrastructure before the 2028 Games. That includes money for hundreds of extra buses and expanded bus lanes, likely to be the main way to transport visitors to Olympic events. For security reasons and parking concerns, the Games will be car-free, no driving to the events.
We're talking mobility hubs that will help the people of Los Angeles get around more efficiently. And so it is a significant reason to celebrate. We're going to be ready for the Games. We're going to correct decades of division in our communities and create a better quality of life for all Angelenos.
At LAX, a $30 billion renovation is underway to get ready for the Games. 8 new gates at the Tom Bradley Terminal, and despite delays, the People Mover is expected to open next year. The elevated electric train will transport travelers away from the main terminal to a new rental car facility, passenger pickup curbs, parking, and even metro trains. When LA last hosted the Olympics 40 years ago, more than 5.7 million people attended, and Angelenos had big concerns about how to navigate the streets and freeways. In Paris, LA Mayor Karen Bass told us the traffic nightmare did not happen.
Everybody was convinced it was going to be a disaster. Everybody was dreading the traffic. And I think about it, we had no technology then like we do now. And actually, Mayor Bradley's leadership worked it out, and traffic was not a problem at all in 1984.
That technology for LA2028 will include phone apps and push alerts. But as in 1984, perhaps the most effective strategy will be to urge LA residents to stay home. When we come right back, we're going back in time. The year was 1984, and the world came to visit Los Angeles.
This
chart.
LA5 Morning News.
Welcome back to Paris in this KTLA special. I'm Sandra Mitchell. As Paris gets ready to welcome the Summer Games, we want to go back in time. At the top of the Billboard charts, it was Prince's When Doves Cry. And at the movie theaters, the blockbuster was Ghostbusters. The world came to Los Angeles, and the year was 1984. With the Olympic torch in the background, I sat down at the Coliseum with one of the stars of the '84 Games, SoCal native and four-time gold medalist diver Greg Louganis.
Well, I don't come to the Coliseum all that often. So, it's usually an event or something, and I forget. I'm like, my name's on the wall there. And it's like, oh my God, there's my name. So, yeah. It's they have the 84 Olympic gold medalists, and all that's got my name there twice, which is really kind of cool.
40 years ago, for 16 magical days, the entertainment capital of the world became the athletic capital of the world. Now considered the standard for running a modern Olympiad and a financial triumph, LA put on a spectacular show. The City of Angels was confirmed as the host site in May 1978, becoming just the third city to hold the modern games twice.
Tell me about 1984 Los Angeles. What was the city like?
To be here in 1984 for the Olympic Games, it was magical. I mean, it really was. Peter Ueberroth did an incredible job, putting the Olympics together, and getting, people, the company and stuff to kind of goes down, for the Olympic Games, and when it kind of took that time off.
From announcement day on, Angelinos did their part to make the games a success. A Disney artist assisted in the design of the game's mascot, Sam the Olympic Eagle. But even before any medals were awarded, international politics were front and center. The LA Olympics took place 4 years after a U.S.-led boycott of the 1980 Moscow Games, following the Soviet Union's 1979 invasion of Afghanistan. To retaliate, the Soviet Union, along with 14 other Eastern Bloc states and allies, boycotted the Games. Despite the absence, a record 140 nations sent delegations to LA in 1984. The 23rd Olympic Games had some major firsts. Synchronized swimming, rhythmic gymnastics, and windsurfing made their official debuts. Tennis was reintroduced after a 6-decade absence, and the U.S. got to display our nation's pastime, baseball, to a global audience. From the campus of UCLA to the coast of Long Beach and across Greater LA, American athletes dominated the events. America would secure 83 gold, 61 silver, 30 bronze medals. Team USA would rack up 174 medals, 115 more than the next ranked country, West Germany, with 59. The legacy of the Summer Games continues. LA freeways still showcase the murals that were put up for the event. 20,000 trees and rose bushes planted across LA in honor of the occasion still beautify our city. And like the motto of the 23rd Games, play a part in history, the 2028 Games will leave their own legacy on our city.
So now we're going to be 40 plus years later.
Yeah.
And the Olympics are coming back.
Yeah.
What do you foresee?
you can't really make comparison because we're just in a totally different space. It's not gonna be the same, and you wouldn't want to recreate it anyways. That was magical for what it was, and where we are now with social media and so many other things, evolving. We've got to look at it through different lenses. How are we going to make this experience a lasting experience?
It's one of the most popular team sports around the globe, and it is making its grand Olympics return in Los Angeles. More on that coming up.
Before Kia Niro EV wind with payments of just $99 per month.
Visit us, CarPros Kia, Huntington Beach.
As we look forward to the Olympics being held here in Los Angeles, we'll explore a bat and ball sport played all over the world, and for the first time, it's being added to the Summer Games in Los Angeles.
You call, decide, let me know what you want to do.
Yes, sir.
A fever pitch in California's San Fernando Valley. Cricket, a ball and bat sport, sort of like baseball, is very popular, with more than 2.5 billion fans from the UK and Australia to India, Pakistan, and the West Indies.
What a ball, what a ball, what a ball.
And now it's becoming a very big hit in the US.
Cricket is coming to Los Angeles in the US, and we cannot be more excited. So 28 will be the first time cricket is being played in the Olympics.
Cricket is one of 5 sports being added to the LA Summer Games in 2028. It was played once before at the 1900 Summer Olympics in Paris. And now, more than 120 years later, perhaps no one is more enthusiastic than the batters and bowlers of the Southern California Cricket Association.
There's a lot of buzz about it. A lot of young people are excited that they can be a part of this dream, right?
Already, the SCCA has 52 teams with 1,500 players, one of the largest leagues in the country. And some of those cricketers just might qualify for Team USA in 2028.
To be an Olympian is a dream. So yeah, I see that somewhere along the line, I'm sure somebody from Southern California will break through.
Gentlemen, it's showtime, let's play!
We took in a match at Woodley Field in Van Nuys, likely to be a venue at the 2028 Summer Games. 200 years ago, when cricket started, games lasted 5 days, but now that format has been shortened to about 3 hours. It's more like American baseball. No more bland uniforms. There are colorful jerseys and enthusiastic players.
Oh, we bowled them! Crossband.
A lot of these guys are very athletic, and when you get a 6'8" West Indian fast bowler coming down on you at 100 miles an hour, that's something that gets the juices flowing.
It's also becoming more marketable. Major League Cricket, including the LA Knight Riders, is now in its 2nd season, and top world pro players make up to $20 million a year. All of that attracting more and younger Americans.
Today, there are hundreds of kids playing cricket. Of course, that's partly because of the South Asian population that has grown, there's the tech industry that's booming, and there are a lot of second generation American kids that are playing.
All right, so here's the basics. Hold the willow bat like a golf club, swing like a croquet mallet, and run between 2 wickets to score up to 6 runs per play. Sounds simple enough.
We are in a great position to actually negotiate the ball. Now.
Negotiate. I gave it a try.
That's a single for you.
Here we go. I think I'll stick to asking the questions. What is the excitement like in Los Angeles?
Oh, what? We people, we call ourselves busy people. We came in Los Angeles, and then we slowly brought the cricket cricket came down here, then slowly, the American people, they started to know. That's why going on.
Imran Sarwar grew up in Pakistan, but now lives in SoCal and is Team USA all the way.
You want to play in the Olympics?
Oh yes, baby. Of course I want to play in the Olympics. That's a dream of everybody. And as a cricketer, why not? If God gives you a chance, I'll jump in there and play.
And so as cricket makes its grand return to the Olympics, Sarwar and many more are hoping to be on the pitch.
See you in 2028.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it from Paris, France, home of the 2024 Summer Games. I'm Sandra Mitchell, and from all of us here at KTLA, we thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, LA 2028 is up next.